Welcome to Geek Speak Live.
Hello, Geek Speakers. It's Todd and
Wade!
my co-host with the most, the awesome Ginger Ninja.
Oh, stop.
Tell you what, buddy, that beard's getting awfully long.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go for the maybe Ned Kelly first.
It's not quite blonde or white. It's this really faded red.
It's interesting. That's what it is.
It's one fucking word for it. I just saw the man eat pizza with it. There's pepperoni bits in there for later on, I think.
I've got the cookie duster keeping stuff for later on as well.
I tell you what, tonight's episode, not sponsored by Le Taste Pizza Toowoomba, but they fed us tonight, and I tell you what, 2 thumbs up. That
Absolutely.
if you are in Toowoomba City, Queensland, and you're looking to support a great local small business during these COVID-19 strange times, Le Taste Pizza on Ruffin Street, 2 thumbs up, amazing meal. The friendliest of staff, and I tell you what, they bend over backwards to make sure customers walk away happy. So 2 thumbs up.
And a big thank you to Kaboom Comics for allowing us to film here in the shop.
My evil twin Todd that runs Kaboom, 2 thumbs up to that idiot as well. Hello Paul, hello Danny, Laura, Scott. It's great to see there some of the first people that have, and Chris, that have tuned in tonight. Hello to you all. Paul has said distinguished. That's how he describes your beard, Ginge. Distinguished.
And Chris has just said, you guys are the ZZ top of geek broadcasting. Thank you very much. We need to make a billboard of that.
They're not long enough or wide enough yet, Chris, but...
We'll get our comics and we'll just spin them around like they did the guitars.
I like it. Ginge, what do you got to kick it off with tonight?
Hey, do you remember Mad Magazine? Who you know, the physical copy isn't around anymore.
No, they have canned that. DC did that late last year.
But do you remember Spy vs. Spy?
Yes, I was a big fan of Spy vs. Spy.
Spy vs. Spy was one spy dressed all in white versus another spy dressed all in black.
Obviously, the one in white was meant to be good. The guy in black was meant to be bad.
Or either.
Depends on how you take it.
The director of Dodgeball is working on a live-action version of the film.
Oh,
you know what? When I first heard it, I went, I don't know if you could do that, but after thinking about it, I thought that sounds pretty cool.
Did they not do a Spy vs. Spy movie that was loosely kind of based on that already? Someone out there in Geek Speak Land, tell me.
Now that you mention it.
I thought there was a movie already done.
Yeah.
So this would be like a reboot, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so they actually want to do it as a live action. So, I mean, what, Ben Stiller versus Owen Wilson, maybe?
Yeah, you could get away with that.
If he's got the Dodgeball director behind him?
Scott has just commented, this is how he imagines the Riddler's beard to be when he finally loses it and goes hermit. I could see that.
What I need
you
to
need
do...
a big a question mark.
What I was thinking, I need to grow it longer and then do the question.
Ooh. Should we? You've got enough gel at home to be able to do it. Should we fucking dare him in a couple of months?
We might have to Photoshop it a little bit at the time being.
What else? I was going to talk about. Space Jam 2 now has an official title, and they've actually released the logo thanks to LeBron James. After years of look, I've even got notes tonight. Look at this, I'm proper professional. This is like our radio days. We used to have notes for our radio show. After years of rumours, a follow-up to the beloved 1996 live-action/animation hybrid, Space Jam, as we all know, is finally coming through the pipeline, dude.
That's so cool.
It is set to come out July 2021. That's nearly 25 years after the original. Now, LeBron James is serving as a producer and also the main star of the movie. He's headlining a human cast that also includes Don Cheadle, as well as several of today's biggest basketball stars.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
The film will, of course, also feature the Looney Tunes in animation style. Production commenced last summer during the NBA off-season, and on his official Instagram post, LeBron James shared a short video of himself wearing the Space Jam 2 cap, which showed the logo.
Yes, the big A through the ring.
And it also confirmed the film's called Space Jam: A New Legacy. That's the... Are you a fan of Space Jam?
I went and saw Space Jam in cinemas, so when you said 25 years ago, I thought, hang on, it can't be that...
It's that long ago. I'll tell you what, friggin' I was a bit of a fan, because I loved the Looney Tunes, right? But Bill Murray?
Bill Murray in it, yes.
How good would it be if he made a cameo back in it again?
Yeah.
Who'd like to see Bill Murray in it?
Yes, and Newman, Wayne Knight from...
Yeah, Newman. I like Wayne Knight. Yeah. He's a great actor. Bronte has just said Space Jam, give me the feels. Yeah, Bronte. I think any kid that grew up in the 90s has got a soft spot for that movie.
Yes.
And even kids after that, because it was still very popular on home video and DVD. And, of course, my nieces and nephews watched it. Grew up watching reruns of it. So Space Jam 2, can't wait. That'll be, what I say, July 2021.
Interesting. Have you seen the people that do the cosplay of the Space Jam characters?
No.
There's one girl in particular that does the Babs with the Toons jersey on.
Yeah.
She looked just like the character.
Really?
Just like the character.
Not as hot as Jessica Rabbit, though?
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he put on a dress and played a girl bunny?
No.
No, neither did I. I just asking.
Yeah, really? You're going to not tell me the... Hello, Danny said absolutely love Space Jam. Yep, fantastic movie. Tell us, Jason Gibbs is... Hello, Gibbo. It's former Geeks Beat writer, and
hey, dude.
He's a local Toowoomba celebrity. He's a sports editor for our local paper. So if you ever see a red-headed bloke reporting on the sport...
It's not me, it's another person.
His beard's not as long as yours. Go up and say g'day to Geeky Gibbo. He's a massive Spider-Man guy, and if he's ever wearing shorts, you'll see the Spider-Man tat on his leg. That's how dedicated he is to Spider-Man.
Scott's watching at home. He says he still has a few of the Tarzos from the chips from back then, the Space Jam Tarzos.
Oh shit!
Oh, the little thing.
Yeah, people held onto those for years, thinking those things were going to be super collectible, and they're not.
I'm pretty sure I've still got it. I'm sure I had one. Did they all have the Velcro on the back of it? Or
I
was it
don't
only
know.
The special ones.
Or did your mum?
Scott, tell us.
Did your mum put Velcro on the back so you didn't lose it?
Just so you could stick it to your shirt.
Hi, John. John's tuned in to watch. G'day.
Hey, man.
What else you got? I've got some other news here.
Gibbo has just commented.
Space Jam, one of the greatest sports movies of all time, says the sports editor.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
That's a big call, though. Better than Field of Dreams. Better than the Sandlot
Better
Kids?
than Caddyshack?
Better than the Sandlot Kids?
Happy Madison?
Fucking what now?
Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore.
Happy Madison's the name of the
production company. Happy Gilmore. I fucking love Happy Gilmore, man. Just tap it in.
Scotch just said the Rarities had the Velcro.
Oh, there you go.
I can go back and find it.
You've got a rare.
Oh my god.
G'day to Brad, who's just tuned in as well. Now, I want to get into some nitty-gritty stuff. All right. Jason Blum. Do you say Jason Blum or Bloom?
Well, it's Bloomhouse.
Bloom, so we'll say Jason Bloom.
Yep.
He has come out and said, now he's the guy who produced The Invisible Man, that new version.
Yeah.
Which,
he's in charge of all the Bloomhouse movies.
I've been told is quite a rapey film.
Don't be like that.
No, they reckon it's very...
Well, someone you know said they were going to take their kid to go watch it, and you said, whoa.
Yeah,
maybe watch the trailer first.
He's actually a copper in town, a good mate, and he was like, the young fella wants to go see it, I might take him to watch it.
Because he thought it was like the old monster movies,
yeah,
the Universal monsters.
He's a big fan of the Universal stuff. His son is, anyway. And so he said, I might take him along, dad and son kind of outing. I went, mate, watch the trailer. I brought it up on the shop computer, said, watch the trailer. He's like watching next to me, he's like, yeah, I'm not taking the boy to see that.
That's like when you went and saw Bad Grandpa, and
Bad Santa,
sorry. And halfway through the movie, what happened?
It wasn't even halfway. It was a certain scene where a girl is on Santa's lap doing something.
And what happened?
This grandfather and his grandkids have just got up and he's just grabbed them and out they went.
Oh, goodness me.
But anyway, one of not the best. What, Gibbo? What's not the best? Don't you like...
Space Jam, is he saying Space Jam's one of the best? Not the best sports movie.
You're not picking on was it Happy
Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Madison.
Happy Madison. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, I say Jason Blum.
Yes.
Jason Blum. He estimates that Marvel movies and other big budget productions won't resume filming until 2021 due to this current pandemic.
Wow. Okay.
Right? So on the production side, countless film and television shoots have been suspended, and there's no clear idea when they're going to pick that up again. Marvel Studios has found itself struggling along with the rest of the industry, particularly where productions are concerned, because its latest film, Black Widow, was meant to be open this weekend.
Yes.
It was also meant to be Free Comic Book Day this weekend, and that all got shit canned because of COVID-19. So boo, COVID-19, you fucking fun killer. Anyway, it's got bumped to November. So Black Widow won't be out in cinemas till November. That's a big bump.
Damn.
That change also pushed Marvel's Phase 4 slate back. Additionally, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings production is currently shut down. That had started production, but it's been shut.
Okay.
The television stuff for Marvel's been pushed. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was slated for an August release, and it was only weeks away from shooting being finished, and they had to suspend it. While WandaVision and Loki had more work to do as well before the shutdown happened. Okay. So all that stuff that all us geeks have been anxiously waiting on from Marvel fucking Studios as part of the Disney Plus streaming service, all delayed, the whole lot of it. So that really, really sucks.
Hey, you were talking about Free Comic Book Day this weekend. Because it's been postponed, a group of guys have put together what they're calling the Alt Free Comic Book Days. Over the next 2 days, they'll be streaming panels with different artists and creators like Kevin Eastman, Marv Wolfman, Sandy Carpenter, who's from Storm King Comics. If you want to check it out, it's at ALT, so Alt FCD, freecomicbookday.com. And they'll be streaming all over the next couple of days.
Fantastic. We might have to put a link to that in the comments after this video finishes tonight. Can we do that? Something like that?
We can do that. And people can check out what's happening.
What a fantastic idea. Because, look, go along, still support your local comic book stores. They could, if they were open at the moment. I know in Australia, 80% of them are. There's a few down south, like Sydney and Melbourne, still can't physically be open. Most of your Queensland, I think most of your Adelaide and Western Australia ones, Northern Territory are all open. Go along, support them because they're going to find it really tough. Free Comic Book Day for most comic shops is one of their largest sales days of the year. All right, so that actually sets them up for the rest of the year for the budgeting costs and everything else. So they're going to be feeling that this year. Go along, support your local comic book store, buy some stuff that you normally wouldn't read, or grab a bargain, a statue, a coffee cup. I know Kaboom Comics Toowoomba, they have got a great batch of DC-themed coffee cups in at the moment, right? Now's the time to upgrade it at home.
Everyone's got their coffee cup that they're actually pouring tequila into while they're doing their Zoom interviews.
Not wearing pants below the desk or something like that, you know? Or is that just how we do it? You don't want to pan down here right now.
That reporter this week?
Yes.
They crossed to him, he's wearing his suit, the tie. He wasn't wearing pants. I swear to God we're wearing pants.
Pants are optional. Bronte has said, wonder if Bill and Ted will go ahead with their release.
Oh, I hope to God.
Oh, I don't know. It could be bumped.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Andreas, hey dudes. Hey, lovely lady. Nice to see you. Right, I also want to talk about Matrix 4. Do you know it was only 4 weeks into production before it shut down? Now, I know you're a Matrix fan. I never, ever got into the whole Matrix thing.
Didn't you?
Nah, it was just not for me, right? I know you were a big fan. You've even got some of the statues in that, haven't you?
I have got a couple of the yes.
Yeah, because he's such a nerd. He really is. So according to Chad Stahelski, The Matrix 4 was only 4 weeks into filming before its production shut down due to the COVID pandemic, right? The long-awaited sequel was one of many movies in the midst of shooting when this outbreak happened.
Yes, it all happened.
Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are reprising their roles as Neo and Trinity in this movie, despite, and this is a spoiler alert if you've never seen it, despite the characters' deaths in the 2003 Matrix Revolution movie.
Yes.
Right?
So she dies at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, and Neo gets put back into the Matrix.
It came out in 2003, that's 17 fucking years ago. If you haven't seen it, that's on you. Right? So franchise co-creator, which is now Lana Wachowski.
It's the Wachowskis.
Yeah, but only Lana's coming back to do this one. So she's directing it solo this time round. Plot details are being kept firmly under lock and key. They are not letting anything slip out on this. Oh, there's something else I could have just let slip then, but anyway, I won't.
Thomas is watching at home. Hey lads, g'day man.
Thomas, good to see you, sir. Great that you tuned in. Good to have you along for the ride.
Hey, what are you watching at home this week? On the box.
Right, so because my lovely lass and I, we're not watching any TV shows at the moment. Well, she is.
No series?
She is. I'm not. But we sat down the other night. It was like, let's watch a movie. We had some dinner on the couch.
Dinner. Oh, it wasn't anything else on the couch.
A bottle of rosé. But knocked off with Moscato. It was a bottle of Moscato. Sat there, and of course, my lovely wife Danny said, do you want to watch a movie? I'm like, yeah, you pick. So she scrolled through.
I thought she was about to say, so how about it? And, and that was referring to watching a movie.
This is a whole nother story, Jim. No, the lovely lady said, I said, well, you pick. So she scrolled through and she said, have you ever seen this movie called Simply Irresistible with Sarah Michelle Gellar? And I went, no, but you had me at Sarah Michelle Gellar. And that's the name of a fantastic Robert Palmer song, right? Simply Irresistible.
So you're thinking that she's either A, killing vampires, or killing women playing guitars in the back of a music film.
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
Turns out it was like a 2019, but somewhere between 99 and 2001 is when this movie came out. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay.
But anyway, she was still playing Buffy at the time. Right? This movie came out, and is it Sean Patrick Flannery?
Yes.
That's the actor's name?
The guy who used to play Indiana Jones.
Yes.
The young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yes, that's him. So
And he's also from the Boondock Saints.
He's the romantic lead in this,
I might
right?
have to watch this
At
now.
the very start of it, the guy out of Suits, the main guy who plays Harvey, right?
Okay.
Who I have always said should be a fucking Bruce Wayne in a TV or cinematic universe.
Yeah.
He looks awesome as... He's just got that Bruce Wayne look to him.
Okay.
Anyway, he has a very brief cameo at the start of the movie because Denny's gone, that's the guy from Suits. I went, oh shit, it is too. But anyway, movie's simply irresistible. It's a rom-com, right? That's how it was sold to me.
Okay.
Romantic comedy, rom-com.
Okay. Do tell.
It is the most weird-ass fucking rom-com I've ever seen. It has a magic crab in it.
Hang on, what now?
Right? They actually, it's like she becomes a bit like a witch because she's not a great cook. She's running a little tiny restaurant in New York or whatever. And so this guy at the beginning of the movie, this real creepy weird guy, goes, these crabs are for you. She goes, oh, I don't cook with crab. He's like, oh, you should buy them. They're for you. And this crab bites Sean Patrick Flannery or whatever on the leg and everything else. And she takes him back to the restaurant. One escapes, and it's the magic crab that sits up, covered by a lettuce leaf, watching out over the kitchen, right? And so she's suddenly, because she's like really going, oh, you know, she's a bit down, but then she starts throwing herself into the cooking. The food goes amazing. The restaurant starts going amazing. Old mate comes to eat there because he's suddenly drawn to her. Amanda Pete's in it as well.
Oh, what?
She plays a bitch. Anyway, so he starts eating the food, and it's like he just, oh, this is the most amazing food. I can't believe it. And of course, then other things happen. It's like little bits of magic all the way along. But it boils down. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for the magic fucking crab, right? It's the trippiest fucking rom-com I've ever seen. Simply irresistible.
What kind of drugs were you on when you were watching this?
Look, no drugs at all. Seriously, it was just a... You know what, though? I got to the end of it. Denny goes, what did you think of it? I went, I didn't hate it. Right? I didn't hate it, but it was a weird movie.
Laura's watching at home. She's gone, what?
Kian says, was her hair slicked back?
Just like in the film clip from Simply
Oh,
Irresistible.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
She wasn't wearing
She wasn't blonde in it either. She had a reddish, kind of brunette kind of reddish style hairdo in it.
Okay.
Now, here's this thing, right?
What did the crab...
There's a big fancy dinner ball thing at the end, towards the end of the movie, right?
Okay.
So he leaves a dress upstairs for her on a mannequin because he works in this big department store. He's like the high up of this big department store. So he's waiting. Like he goes down in the elevator or sends the elevator up. The elevator comes back down and there's...
it's the crab.
No.
No? The crab
no. But it's a different dress or something. And he turns around and she's suddenly already there. But she's gone from having just a normal hairdo. She's got this fucking princess with a tiara hair. I'm like, that is the quick... Any chick who can dress that quick and have her hair done by herself, right? That shit ain't real.
Right? Well, maybe the crab turned into a fairy godmother because this thing seems like
maybe
Cinderella.
There's some cut scenes in it. I don't know, but I actually looked to the beautiful wife and said, that's bullshit, right?
Out of the entire thing, the magic crab,
her hair changed. There was no hairstylist. Where the fuck did she get the tiara from?
Out of everything, that was the most unbelievable part of the movie.
What? Yeah, fuck them. I can believe a magic crab can make me cook amazing food, but the fact that this woman changed like that and had her hair done in a princess style with a tiara, I call bullshit.
Oh god!
Right? So that's what I watched this week, and then I thought I've got to redeem myself and watch something geeky. So last night, the beautiful last night, I was sitting on the couch, and she said, "What do you want to watch?" And I said, well, "I'm just going to look," and I had a look through Netflix to come up with some superhero stuff. First one that popped up, a movie that came out in 2006.
Oh.
You and I have not seen it. Since we went to the cinema to watch it. I remember at the time being very disappointed with it and going, oh, right? And picking the movie apart. Can you guess what that movie is?
Oh, I think I can guess what this movie is.
Right? If I did this to you, if I went... It was Superman Returns from 2006. Right? I remember at the time watching that movie and going, "Oh, I didn't really enjoy it." I know chunks of it were filmed in Australia.
He had a baby? What?
Yeah,
he had
just
a kid?
And I remember at the time there was people saying that, what's his name, Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor was very meh, and I'm like, I at the time thinking I love Kevin Spacey.
Well, he was doing the whole Gene Hackman type.
He was. Well, he was.
Well, he's channeling him because he was supposed to play that character.
The same kind of Lex Luthor, yeah. So I went into it with trepidation last night. I thought I'll put it on and give it a crack, right? I'll be honest with you. It was the first time in a while that I didn't go for my phone during the movie. I wasn't distracted. I actually sat there and got caught up in this amazing film when I watched it through my eyes now, and after all the superhero movies we've had in the last few years, the Henry Cavill Superman movies, you watch this and you go, holy fuck, those modern movies are so dark and depressing, right? Especially for a Superman movie. Superman should be a bit uplifting, a bit more...
A little bit more fantasy, yeah.
A bit more wow factor as well. You just kind of get engrossed in the beauty of this guy who can fly and is so pure of heart that he's just wanting to help people.
I guess a lot of the truth, justice, and the American way type sort of flag flying,
it got
as opposed to what it is now, where it's like
don't mention America kind of thing,
like urban military-esque type.
Yeah,
post 9/11.
Brendan Routh was fucking phenomenal. When I watched it back, I watched him. It was Kate Bosworth as
Lois Lane.
Yep. Obviously, Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Cal Penn was one of the bad guys.
Was in it, yeah.
Parker Posey is one of the bad chicks that's with Lex Luthor.
That's right.
You got Frank. Is it Langlia? The actor, he plays Perry White. I can't think of his name.
Yes, the guy who played Skeletor in the He-Man movie.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay, well he's Perry
yes.
White. And you got what's his name?
Below.
James Marsden is the guy who's raised Clark's son. You don't know until the end
Cyclops.
Of it. Yeah. So it's actually a really good cast, right? Fantastic cast. The costuming alone, like I watched that costume and watched it back and went, that actually suits. Right, that costume looks amazing. The set designs on this film were phenomenal. Directed by Bryan Singer, remember? Because McGee was signed on to do it. That's why it was being filmed in Australia, remember?
Originally, yeah.
And then McGee pulled out. Bryan Singer stepped up. He wasn't happy about filming in Australia, but the studios was like, we've already done the deals. Because there was a chunk of it filmed down around Tamworth.
Yeah, that's where the cornfields were. Didn't they have to plant their own cornfields? Because there was no corn being grown.
Yeah,
in Australia at that time.
I don't think we actually produced that variety of corn either, I don't think, over here. But there's a scene that I know was shot in Sydney. And I know this was shot in Sydney. And I remember this too.
Because it was one of the moments in the movie where we went, oh, hello.
Right? This is where my knowledge of Australian trucks comes handy, right? Even last night, I had to pause the movie at this particular part, and I turned to my wife and I said, "Do you know that was filmed in Sydney? And do you know how I know that's filmed in Sydney?" And my wife's looking at me like, "I don't care." And I said, "See that green truck there?" She's like, I said, "That is an International T-Line series truck, only produced in Australia." And blah blah blah. And then I'm like looking at my wife like, "Ha!" And then she's gone.
And you've just gone like this, and the cape has flapped behind you. But I've had to get behind you and just flap your cape.
What were you doing in my house again last night?
Waiting for moments like these to sell them.
Anyway, so my wife has just gone, and back to the movie. So we've hit play. But anyway, got into it. The set design. I watched the whole thing. Like I said, didn't go for the phone, didn't get distracted. I was caught up. The fact that they used the original music, the score, that classic, that is just Hollywood fucking.
And the title sequence of the coming towards,
If you haven't watched it in quite a few years, like what's that now? 2006. It's 14 years old, right? Brendan Routh, it did kind of kill his career for a little while there. He's come back. He's done stuff on TV since he's actually played Superman in the recent crossovers.
Yes. The Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah. Look, he was amazing. And my wife said to me at the end of it, we got to the end, she goes, could you imagine if the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy had never happened, but they had done another Batman movie that flowed on and tied into that particular Superman universe? Yeah. And Brendan Routh was back as Superman. Could you imagine the Justice League films we could have had since then? Could you imagine the Batman films we could have had since then without going with the, I hate the Christopher Nolan fucking trilogy. I really do. As a die-hard Bat fan, It's fucking shit, right? It is. Do you agree or not?
Oh, hey! You know, when you first watched it, you went, "Fuck yeah, it's a Batman movie," and then you kind of, I think the voice just grizzled on you.
It was dark. It was depressing. Metropolis in this, like the buildings and some of the other things, actually looked like Metropolis from the comics. They had that Art Deco style interiors in the fucking Daily Planet building is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that rooftop scene where he just starts to float, she kicks the shoes off, she steps on his feet, and she's talking to him. Next minute, she looks down. He's just floated up, way up above the Daily Planet, and the Daily Planet on the globe is actually moving around. It's just fucking.
I always love that scene where he's inside the elevator and he's just about to do the iconic, and you just see him as the door's shut, and you can see him take off.
The shots, the transitional shots too, are phenomenal. Where she hops in an elevator and it goes up, and he starts looking because he's looking with his X-ray vision, and it follows her going up. And like, do yourself a favour and watch Superman Returns. Watch it through modern eyes. After all the dark, depressing superhero movies we've had in the last few years, this one actually left me with that sense of awe and hope. And it was like, it's an inspirational kind of feel that you get from these characters. These characters are meant to be inspirational, especially Superman. For the love of God, he's the big blue Boy Scout. This movie made me go, yeah, he is.
Just thinking now, the whole plane crash scene at the beginning of the movie where he rescues the 747 and carries it down into the middle of a baseball game.
Yeah.
How iconic is that?
There's actually a scene, like in that shot, when he kind of lands, and because of the force, you see the ripple effect down the outside shell of the plane.
Yes.
The chick on the plane, she's Australian, by the way.
Really?
The hostess on that thing. Yeah, you'd know her. Once you saw her, you go, that chick. There's a few people I picked in it and I went, that guy's Australian, that guy's Australian. That's a really bad Kiwi accent. Anyway, so we got...
Scott's got a few things to say. I also thought on a revisit to the movie that was... was an excellent homage to Superman. On the first watch, he didn't enjoy it either.
I think it's because a lot of people at the time were expecting, there'd been such a gap between Superman films. I think they were expecting a reboot, and it wasn't. It was a continuation of... I think 1 and 2, this was technically meant to be the third if you ignore...
Yeah, forget about 3 and 4.
Yeah, so, because then a lot of people also said, how did he father a child? It was like, well, he lost his powers in 2, wasn't he? He was depowered or whatever. That's when him and Lois slept together, and, I'm not going to explain how babies are made. You're all adults, you should know by now. And that's what happened, right?
Yeah. Scott goes on to say that would be a great movie to build the extended cinematic universe from.
Too late now, obviously. You couldn't go back and do it today. Brendan Routh also plays Ray Palmer in the Arrowverse. Yes, he does.
And he also plays Dylan Dog.
And Bronte said, wow, Dark Knight is one of my favourite movies. Bronte, come on. Go back and watch the Tim Burton film. They are the best Batman films around. Those two Tim Burton. Batman Returns and Batman 89.
Paul said, I was led by your review, Todd. Never watched it.
Really?
Is he talking about the Batman...
Hang on, which one, Paul, are we talking about? Dark Knight, or have you never watched Superman Returns? If you haven't, it's on Netflix now.
Danny's just said Peter Wilson plays the lady on the plane. You'd know her from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, of course.
There you go. I told you you'd know her as soon as you see her. You go, oh, that chick. Yeah, she's fantastic.
The reason I asked...
I'll have to watch... Paul said he's got to watch it now. Yes, Paul, watch it.
Superman.
It's great.
He's talking about Superman.
It's really great.
The reason I asked what you've been watching at home, because someone sent a tweet to Ryan Reynolds this week and said, hey, for 99 cents I can rent Green Lantern. Should I watch it? What do you think Ryan Reynolds' reply was?
Fuck no.
It was 2 words.
Fuck no.
He said, walk away.
Oh, really?
No.
Because it is also streaming, it's right beside Superman Returns on Netflix. And I almost went... Green Lantern or Superman Returns? Glad I chose Superman Returns.
Yep.
I actually am one of those people in the boat of I don't completely hate the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film. I don't hate it. I hate the mask because at the time, instead of just wearing a fucking latex mask on his face, oh no, we're going to do it in post and we're going to do it digitally.
Yep.
We'll CGI it, right? Which would have cost a fucking arm and a leg, and it looks shit. Him as Hal Jordan, I actually didn't mind. Blake Lively that's where they met.
I was about to say, he can't hate that movie so much.
Apparently
that's
he
where
does,
they met.
But that's where he met his beautiful wife.
So there's got to be an upside to that. He did say that he couldn't get hired for anything after that movie, but he got his wife out of it. So.
Can I just say too that she's on my Hollywood hot list. Blake Lively, I love. Have you ever
Is
watched
is that the tunnel that we're going to end up going down on
No,
this
no,
episode?
no. I was just going to say, have you ever watched The Age of Adeline?
No.
Adeline. Fucking awesome film. Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford doesn't mumble as much in that. I
What?
didn't think. Yeah.
The penitent man.
But
Neil.
I love it when you do that. I really do.
Scott's gone. Danny Bailey. I really loved that movie.
Which one, Scott?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh,
I think
League.
he's talking
Oh,
about.
fuck.
He said, I know that movie got a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
Danny said it's one of my
Scott.
favourite as well.
Scott and Danny, I am with both of you.
League of
And
Extraordinary
Ginger, you
Gentlemen.
will be too.
Yes.
That still holds a special place in my heart. Do you know that was the last film that Sean
Connery.
Connery. I had a fucking blank moment. That Sean Connery. Okay, he's like just after that film, and I think even when the film was starting, he was starting to exhibit signs of dementia, like Alzheimer's and stuff.
It's all over.
What? Yeah,
That's what he said.
I think he knew. Plus, then it came out and it got panned, and that was he's like, I'm done acting. It got to a stage only a couple of years ago where he can't be out on his own. Like I think he's now
really?
living in don't quote me. I think he was like in New York or something, and they've had to. He's got constant care because his mind is so gone now. Because someone said, why hasn't Sean Connery made anything? Like surely he could come back out of retirement and do the odd cameo and that. No, A, he can't remember lines. B, I don't think he fully recognises who he is anymore.
Wow.
And yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And it's sad that his last film, which I fucking love, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, is so universally panned by
I love
critics.
that movie.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen a sequel to it.
It
We've
was
all
a-
seen the ending where he bursts out.
Do you know
well,
they-
we want to see him burst
They
out.
have teased multiple times. There's been talk of a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen TV
Yes,
series. That was a couple of
yes,
years ago.
yes,
that
yes.
never got off the ground. I think only 12 months ago it was come up again that now that AT&T own Time Warner and DC Comics and all that, it was again. Oh, should we do something with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? I don't think we're going to see it. I just don't think this thing's ever going to...
No.
I would love to see it come back, even as a TV show. How cool.
Yes, yes.
Because we almost kind of have a version of it, which is Penny Dreadful. Because you look at Penny Dreadful, you've already got Mina Harker, you've got... there's a couple of different characters who essentially are in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it had that feel of what a TV show could have been. Anyone out there, you ever watched Penny Dreadful with Eva Green?
I can't wait to watch the new series, which has just come out this week.
Based in like 1920s Hollywood or something?
1938. The very first shot, right?
Yep.
It says Los Angeles 1938. And you know why I got excited?
Why?
Because that's the thing that comes up at the very beginning of The Rocketeer.
I just want to say, it's a Rocketeer thing, Ginger's now.
1938 Los Angeles. I'm like,
Oh.
whoa! Oh my god! Sorry, I went a
And
little
it's,
bit loud there. A little bit high.
It's got a famous actor in it. The guy out of the producers.
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane's in it. There you go.
And my girlfriend from Game of Thrones is in the new series.
Who?
I forgot her name.
Oh, okay. What character is she playing in Game of Thrones?
She was the one that was married to Joffrey.
Oh, Marjorie of...
Yeah.
Shit, I can't think of her name. Can you tell us in the comments?
Yeah,
Let
I
us
forgot.
know.
Danny, you'll know.
I'm sidetracked. Penny Dreadful. Has anyone out there seen Penny Dreadful? Right.
Catch up on some comments.
Chris said Green Lantern League, both unfairly panned films, both worth a watch at any time. Exactly right, Chris. 100% in agreement there with you. Scott said I would trust the license with HBO. I think they could do something good with the League. I also love Penny Dreadful, so sad it only did 3 seasons. Yeah, I have never finished Penny Dreadful. I just didn't get a chance to go back and finish it. That's going to be on my hit list. And I was
I'd
about
like
to say,
to finish it off, yeah.
I was about to say before, Eva Green's also on my Hollywood hot list.
Hang on,
So-
we're not allowed to do this, are we? Is this what we're going with? Is
Andrea
this
said with Nathan Lane. Yeah, I saw the little promo pic and I went, Nathan Lane back in the show. That's awesome. I like him as an actor. Natalie Dormer, that's the chick you're thinking
That's
of.
it.
Thank you, Chris and Bronte, for bringing that up for him. Now he knows her name.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Natalie Dormer.
Natalie's my other girlfriend.
Just pop that in your noggin there, Ginge.
Yep. I probably should know her name. Kian's gone. Age of Adeline is one of her favourites as well.
It's an awesome film. I really think she's a talented actress, Blake Lively. Had to have a think of... I haven't seen the shark one she did that was filmed here in Australia because I don't like sharks. So I'm not going to watch that movie.
Danny said, I enjoy Green Lantern. It has its faults, but is redeemed with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Dead right. Absolutely dead right. Now, I want to have a chat. Remember we talked last week about the whole shenanigans that DC pulled on the comic book industry,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. Right.
Interesting.
So earlier this week, because I'm in a lot of retailer forums, being a retailer, I suddenly got a Steve Jeppy, the owner of Diamond Comics, has started following my store.
Okay.
I'd hit like on a few pro Diamond comments in retailer forums that other people have put up. Suddenly, Steve Jeppy starts, following me on Twitter, and then I got an invite to watch a video, and I caught the tail end of it. By the time I got to work the other morning, because it was nighttime in the US, and I caught the tail end of it, then waited for him to put the video back up, and it was like a Zoom interview with a guy who runs a online channel over there.
Okay.
Steve Jeppy, the owner of Diamond Comics Distributors, and a bunch of some of the big, well-known comic book retail shop owners in America. And so they put some of the hard questions to him. He answered pretty much everything. He was very upfront. And I tell you what, a lot of people are down on Diamond, right? And don't get me wrong, most comic shops have issues with shipping, sometimes damages, stuff like that. But this guy, he's 70 years of age, and he is so fucking passionate about the comic book industry. It's phenomenal,
Wow.
right? And even he said, he goes, look, they've been telling us for the last 20 years comics are going to die. He said comics are going to be around for a long time yet. He's disappointed with what DC have done, but he's working around it. He's working with it. When they said, how do you feel about DC letting these two of your biggest accounts? He said, look, I was disappointed. Those guys are still great accounts. We want to work with them. We don't want to,
Yep.
cut them off to spite them or anything. He said, I was disappointed with the way things turned out. He said, but I look at it this way. He said, competition will make us pick our game up even more.
Oh, good.
He actually let slip a few ideas that they're working on, which I'm sitting there going, things like this, it's like in wartime. Great innovation happens. When there's a massive, worldwide issue,
Yep.
good, smart people will come up with new ways to do things. And that's what's happening there at Diamond Comics at the moment. They're really working on some stuff. Shipping is going to kick back in, or new releases kick back in the 20th of May at the moment, unless there's any hold-ups in the States with
Good.
the government or whatever else. So comics are going to be back, new release comics by the end of the month. And yeah, as I said, it was fantastic. That video, you can go and type it into YouTube, I think. It's available for the public to watch. There's a bit of rambling and meandering throughout it. So it's not like it's edge of your seat watching, but it's good, and it filled comic shop owners like me with hope again. We went, this is fantastic, good on you, Steve Jeppy, and he seems like a genuine downer. This guy's like a millionaire or whatever, but he's passionate. He's really still passionate about the industry, which I thought was fantastic.
It's great that he was so open about it as well.
Yeah, as I said, he didn't really come out and hide things. Well, no comment. He didn't do any of that. He had some weird analogies that he freaking threw out it all. I'll give you that. Now, what that leads me to, right?
Yep. Okay.
Mitch and Elizabeth Breitweiser. Now, they're two comic creators. Elizabeth is an Eisner-nominated colorist. This girl has worked with on amazing creative teams. She's a fantastic colorist, award-winning, right?
Okay, cool.
And Mitch Breitweiser, he's a creator from Marvel. He's done a ton of stuff over the years. Now, they were seen as, because they were pro-Republican, Mitch got essentially, for want of a better term, blacklisted by the comics industry after Donald Trump come to power, right? All because he'd done a piece congratulating the president at the time because he was a Republican. I think his thoughts on Trump have now changed a bit. He's obviously like the rest of the world and gone, this guy's an idiot. But he kind of got blacklisted, so he went off and he crowdfunded his own book called Red Rooster, like a golden age hero.
Oh, wow.
Called Red Rooster. It looks pretty freaking cool, right? It hasn't actually been released yet. But what he did, he then spun that with other creators, and he kicked off a thing called, and it's also with an Arkansas businessman, and the thing is called Allegiance Arts and Entertainment, right? They have been working behind the scenes to get comics, their own brand of comics, into Walmarts across America.
Oh, wow.
Right, so here we go. Now, so DC Comics has had considerable success getting comics in the last 2 years into Walmart, right? With their DC Giants that were produced originally just for Walmart. Now the direct market shops can get them.
Okay.
And Marvel also joined in with. They had a three pack of comics. So it'd be leftover comics, popped in a pack, sealed with a little bit of artwork on the thing.
Cool.
And they were selling them in that. But these guys have come along and have really shaken it up. They have worked with Walmart. They're going to have these beautiful end cap displays. So not just thrown on a shelf. They are a big standalone end cap display with the books face forward, right?
Oh, awesome.
And they are going to be in over 3,000 stores, Walmart stores across America, not Canada, only America to begin with, right?
Damn.
So that's 70% of all Walmarts are going to carry these range of comics, right? There's 4 launch titles, and they're all priced at $4.98 US, right? Now, the 4 books are Nora's Saga, which is written by Blake Northcott. Now, she's an upcoming writer. Her stuff is phenomenal, Blake. It's illustrated by Kelsey Shannon. There's another book called The Futurists, written by Patrick Stiles with pencils by legendary creator Butch Geiss. Bass Reeves. You ever heard of Bass? Now, well, you should have.
Who you're talking about.
Bass Reeves is a character in fiction. He was also in the inspiration for that young African-American guy in Watchmen, the TV series. Remember the black hooded sheriff in the old black and white film that the kids watching in the theatre when Kansas is getting bombed?
Yep.
Right? That was Bass Reeves.
Okay.
So they've done a comic book series called Bass Reeves, written by Kevin Griveau, I think that's how you pronounce it, with pencils and inks by David Williams, and then Red Rooster, written by Mark Pellegrini, with pencils by Mitch Breitweiser and colours by Elizabeth. Right? Those books were all crowdfunded on Indiegogo. They are now releasing them as single issues through the Walmart thing. But this is the number that gets guys excited, right? Because you grew up grabbing books from news agencies. We talked about that last week. That's how I got into it. We read through news agencies. In America, it was things through your local drugstore or your local supermarkets. And Mum would be doing the supermarkets. Kids would grab the comics, and Mum would buy it to keep the kids shut up while she drove the groceries home, right? So that's been missing for a couple of years. Purely by shelf space alone, that is a print run of 33,840 copies of each book, right? That's in the first run. They will need to print more of that to cover the crowdfunding books, damages, and online sales. Because you don't have to go into your local Walmart. You can actually buy them over there. They won't ship to Australia, but you can buy them online from Walmart online.
Okay.
So for an independent comic, each issue, to already have a locked-in print run of at least nearly just short of 34,000 copies. There are mainstream DC and Marvel books that don't even hit that number. Some of your top sellers do, your Batman, Supermans and that. Your mid-sellers from DC and Marvel struggle to hit that number. So these guys have made a fantastic inroad to get new comic readers all by going into Walmart. So good on them. It's called Allegiance Arts and Entertainment. They've kicked it off, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're getting these books out there. Fingers crossed. I'm actually, I just become friends with Mitch Breitweiser on Facebook today. I'm going to send him a message in the next couple of days and see if there's a way we can work out to somehow get some of these books into Australia. Because I love that idea. I think what a fantastic idea. I've read about these books individually, and mate, they sound friggin' amazing.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, The Futurists is set in like 1866. And I said, straight away, as soon as I said Golden Age kind of character called Red Rooster, that old action adventure kind of superhero, your ears picked up. I can see that. So there you go. That's a bit of news for you.
Natalie Dormer's just followed me on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Your other girlfriend is in the news today.
Who?
Britney Spears.
Hey!
You may not have seen Britney Spears online lately for at least the last 6 months, and you know why?
Why?
She burnt down her gym.
A home gym?
Now let's say it was by accident. Mm-hmm. She left a couple candles lit in her gym and left it. And then
Why she got candles in the gym?
I don't know, like, cause I would have thought while you're in the gym, you're like, let's get this done. Not let's get some tranquil candles happening.
Put on some nice tunes and some smelly incense while I work out.
So after she's...
That's my really bad Britney Spears impersonation, by the way.
And so she's left, come back, or just walked past the door and turned and seen that it was on fire. And it's obliterated her whole gym except for 2 exercise equipment.
Really? Poor old Britney Spears. She's not going to go shave her head again, is she?
She said, I lit some candles and one thing led to another and I burnt it down. But
Bronny said, sounds like some Tiger King stuff here, Britney.
Well,
I haven't watched it yet.
Interesting, because she said, "Yippee hooray! Nobody got hurt." That was a quote. Yippee hooray! Yeah.
I've done all my notes, by the way, Ginge. I'm all out.
Another quick news: Venom. They've announced the name of Venom 2.
Was there a teaser thing today? I haven't seen it yet. A customer came in and said he was greatly disappointed this afternoon with the little teaser they put up.
Venom: Let There Be Carnage is the name.
That's Woody Harrelson. That's the character Woody Harrelson.
June 2021 is when it's supposed to come out.
Woody Harrelson's going to have redder hair than you.
Well, yeah.
It's a wig. Did you know his father was a hitman? Did you know that?
They're making a Netflix series about it. It's coming out.
I didn't know Woody Harrelson until I read that the other day. I was like, what?
Well, it's not the kind of thing that you would promote. Hey, I'm a Hollywood actor, and my dad killed people.
I don't know. It might open some friggin' doors for you. Some people might go, you know what? Yes, you can come in and cast for that role. I don't want you to come and bump me off.
This week,
Yes.
the Goonies had a reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can check out the video where Josh Gad got them all together.
There is someone we know who has never watched I'm trying to hear who it is. Has said they never, ever watched the Goonies. Fuck, is it you?
I've never watched it all the way through.
You are the massive, fan of the 80s
I
and everything
know.
else. And
I never watched it as a kid. I never.
are you for fucking... you're now nearly 40 years of age and you've still never watched it.
And the thing is, I have it on DVD. I've got like a big box set of it with the coin
Come on,
and everything.
folks, put it in the comments. Tell him that he must watch this before next week. We'll talk about Goonies next week. Tell him in the comments, say, Ginge, get your finger out, watch the Goonies. I cannot believe it.
Sean Astin, Corey Feldman.
Hang on, Laura said me, and Danny said me too. What? As in you haven't seen Yous. That's fucking great English, isn't it?
Yes,
you
Laura said I've never seen it either way. See,
You have never seen
I
Goonies.
never saw it.
Danny, if you've never seen Goonies, guess what we're watching on the weekend?
I thought you were about to say, guess what? Take that ring off.
No, I'd never do that.
Cindy Lauper, Chris Columbus, who was the writer who went on to direct Home Alone.
Yep.
Steven Spielberg joined in on the chat, and even director Richard Donner joined in.
Oh, fantastic.
They reenacted some of the scenes from the movie.
Because the kid that's in that played Data in
Ki Kwan. Yeah,
Ki Kwan.
in
Indiana Jones. Yeah, well, that was the Indiana Jones movie where Dan Aykroyd made a cameo. Temple of Doom. He's at the airport. He's the British officer. Isn't
Exactly.
He? With
And
a horrible British
during
accent.
the making of Goonies, Harrison Ford rocked up to the set and visited, along with Clint Eastwood.
Did he rock up? Good job.
Too many children.
But do it again. Do it again.
Too many children.
I'm a penitent man.
Penitent man.
Ah,
Neil. Too many children. Clint Eastwood even rocked up to the set, and he walked up after.
Keane's never watched it. What the fuck is going on in the world? All you people. What year were you all born? Seriously, you can't have been kids of the 80s if you haven't watched Goonies. You never grew up watching Goonies.
Clint Eastwood rocked up and watched the mayhem that was happening with all the kids. He walked up to Richard Donner and said, "Mate, have you ever thought about going back to acting?"
Oh, really?
It's a really good, feel-good video to even without... I have seen some of the movie. I just haven't seen the ending of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Right. Fuck, I thought I knew him, eh? Sad. James, what else you got from me?
Hey, so we've been talking about how movies and Universal Studios aren't going to be sending their cinema releases.
Okay, so Universal Pictures released the new Trolls Worldwide.
Hang on,
I think it's the second movie. What? Yeah.
We just need to stop. Paul said that we need to learn how to do the truffle shuffle.
Oh yes, Paul, we should do it. I'm not doing it now, but maybe you should film a little bit and post it in the comments, Paul, of you doing the truffle shuffle. That's a challenge. Film it and post it in the comments.
Sorry, back to Universal Studios.
Right, so Universal Studios had Trolls Worldwide, I think it's called, right?
Yes.
It was their second Trolls movie,
Yes.
right? Now, the first one, I've never seen it, but apparently it was a hit. Like, a lot of kids loved it. Parents went along to the cinemas to watch it with the kids. Rah. It's one of those typical school holiday movies. They make money for the studios. That's why they keep pumping them out, right? So, COVID-19 happens. Obviously, movie theatres worldwide are shut. Now, one of the big chains in America is AMC. You've also got Regent theatres over there, I think it is another big chain. So, Universal, instead of holding the line like every other studio has and bumping their release date, Universal went, we're going to do VOD, video on demand, we're going to release it, right? So they did, and AMC went, fuck you, Universal, we're going to boycott future Universal movies, right? Which is a big fucking gamble.
Yes.
They've got some big films coming out later this year that you're going to go, shit, we really should probably be making money off that. But they've gone, no, we're going to boycott it. Regent turned around within the same day and then had to come out and go, we didn't know AMC was doing it, but we stand with them. They've turned around and gone, fuck you, Universal, as well. We're not going to show you your films in the cinema.
We don't like Fast and Furious anyway.
Yeah, because that's the big one. That's a money maker. Say what you will about the Fast and Furious franchise, it makes money. So both these big theatre chains throughout America have gone, we're not going to show any of your films for the rest of the year kind of thing, right? Universal shot back at them and said, we made more money in 2 weeks with video-on-demand release of Trolls worldwide than the first Trolls film did in 2 months in the cinemas. Right? Now, you kind of got to look at it and go, yeah, but some of those numbers are going to be because you've got so many people stuck at home with kids that can't do anything else, who really need entertainment. So, of course, they're going to pay the whatever the fee was to watch Trolls at home, right? Trolls worldwide. But still, oh boy, what a shot across the bow that back is to the movie theatres. Then, as we mentioned last week, Warner Brothers have already said their own polling shows 90% of people have said they're not ready to go back to movie theatres.
Yep.
Right, which is also why friggin' they are weighing up their options going forward as to, do we start offering more movies video on demand, right? Yep. And not worry so much about upsetting the theatre chains if people are willing to spend it. This could potentially be, in the next year or two, the frigging final shot in the foot, final nail in the coffin for movie theatres. I mean, here in Toowoomba City, we've only got one chain here in Toowoomba City, which is Event Cinemas, right?
Yes.
Birch Curragh and Coyle. They own the 2 cinemas in town, right? They are just undertaking a multi-million-dollar redevelopment of the one at our major shopping centre. It's getting a brand new VMAX experience.
Yes.
It's one of the, what are they, something? 4KE or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a gold-class cinema, but it's probably
a step below. But anyway, so we're not the only one. Other parts of Australia, they're doing big renovations at the moment in anticipation of people, getting people back into cinemas. This could be what kills them. If movie studios go, you know what, we can cut out the middleman, go straight to the fucking consumer, and we're getting more of that income.
Yes.
Right? We're not beholden to worldwide release. Oh, we can't release it in Australia until we do it in England or whatever else. If they just go worldwide, digital, day and date release, boom, there you go. Think of the money. It's scary, but if you're one of those people who loves going to your local cinema, when they reopen after COVID-19, get your butt in there and support them, because they're going to need it, aren't they?
Keon's gone, bring back drive-ins. Do you see that the drive-in in
Let's
Brisbane is opening this weekend? Opening back up.
Yes.
Laura said, yes, bring back the drive-in.
Astorm was doing major construction. Yes, that's right, Laura. Bronte just said that. Yeah, that big new one up at Grand Central, that's going to be a humdinger when it's all done.
I bring up the reason for this because for the first time in its 93 years, the Oscars are now accepting submissions for films that have never been screened in a cinema.
So we could send some of our films in, Ginger.
Well, technically, yeah. Because
Todd and Wade go to the Oscars.
Because the deal was that if you ever wanted to be nominated, you had to be in a cinema in Los Angeles for at least 7 days consecutive before you could even be thought of being nominated. Todd's just seen a photo that's been sent to us privately.
It's not for public viewing, but thank you, Paul, for that horrible image of you doing the truffle shuffle. Guess who's not going to sleep tonight?
So I can only imagine what is going to happen in the years coming, where Netflix movies don't need to be screened in a cinema
once
to
you
be nominated.
You do it once, like you say, for this year. You've opened. That's a precedent is set.
Yeah.
Netflix, any of these other streaming services come on board. They're all going to sit there. Amazon will be another one. Amazon, they'll all go, well, we don't need to show it in the cinema now for so many weeks or whatever.
No.
Bada bing, bada boom. Our movies like your Six Underground, The Extraction.
Well, last year Netflix had to run The Irishman, Roma, and Two Popes in cinemas just to get them nominated
to be eligible. Yeah, and there was a kick up. There was a stink about that too, because a lot of diehards in the movie industry in Hollywood don't class them as proper films. But it is. It's a film. Like when I say it's a film, it might not be on proper.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It is still a movie, and they are cinematic. They're not. You don't release them in cinemas. Home cinemas, does that count? But you know what I mean? Like
if you took that image and projected onto a white wall, it's a movie. It's a film.
That's what some people do at home.
I don't understand, just because it didn't go to a cinema, it's not considered a film,
It's just a form of snobbery that really pisses me off. It's like Martin Scorsese coming out and having a dig at Marvel movies that they're not real movies. They are. Those people still rock up and put in, they're playing characters that, some of it's fucking deep and heavy, some of the Marvel stuff, And you look and go, how can you sit there and say they're not real movies? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a Scorsese fan, right? Irishman was a bit long and a bit boring, but, the man can still make some great fucking films. But to say that, that's a slap in the face to a lot of people who work very, very hard on those productions, you know? So there's this form of snobbery that just it irks me. Anything else you got for me?
Well, would you like to be in the next Jurassic World movie?
No, because you know this, I hate the Jurassic Park movies.
Well,
I hate dinosaurs.
for $10, you can buy 10 tickets to go into the draw to be eaten by a dinosaur in the next Jurassic movie.
Are you going to do it?
Well, I don't know. It's 10 American dollars, so that's a lot of money. But they also have a second option
Yeah.
where you can buy your way into the movie.
Oh, you can always buy your way into Hollywood,
Right?
Ginge.
The money you will need
Or you can do other things, stuff.
today.
Did I even do that properly or did I do that wrong? I don't know, right? Don't at me in the comments, anyone who picked up on that. I don't want to hear it.
The second way of getting into it was to buy your way, which today it was $37,000
Holy
to buy the role.
Sure you can't just give someone a blowjob to get in there or what? You know, that's cheaper than
you reckon
$37,000.
$37,000
Oh.
is worth what you can give them?
Hello, Jody, who's tuned in to watch us. Bronte said, where does the line get drawn then for the Oscar application? Because the Academy would be bombarded with immense amounts of movies to sort through. Well, that's a good point, Bronte.
That's right.
This is going to be a real slippery slope for them to open up. Good on them for doing it, I think, but it's going to have to be a long-term thing.
Bronte is absolutely keen.
Dinosaurs hate you, Todd. Scott, that's just horrible. This is horrible. Yeah, so there you go. Like, I hate the Jurassic Park movies. I always have.
Really? The originals?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either.
Fuck.
I watched them recently because my lovely wife is a big Jurassic. She has a thing for Sam Neill.
You can stick with your
And Jeff,
Goonies.
she
I'll
loves
stick with Jurassic Park.
She loves Sam Neill. She loves Jeff Goldblum. And then when it comes to the new one, I think she's a bit of a got the hots for what's his name, Chris Pratt, in them. So well, of course I've watched them. I had to watch them.
Yeah.
And I sit there and watch them and go, yeah. There you go. Well, you're gonna hate on me now for saying that, aren't you? Anything else you guys want us to talk about in the comments? It's an interactive show, so tell us any questions. Got any questions for us?
News out today: the Russo brothers.
Yeah, Russo, not Russo, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. The Russo brothers are planning to make a live-action Hercules movie.
Hercules!
They're not going to direct it.
Live action, so for Disney.
For Disney.
Oh, so it's a remake of the animated one, but in like this is what shits me when they say, "Oh, we did Lion King as a live action." You didn't train monkeys to ride fucking razorbacks, so it's bullshit. It's fucking CGI. It's not live action at all, right? And we
How good was Aladdin?
fuck off with Aladdin. God, I hated that film. I really did.
Some historical news from the movie world.
How's it historical then?
Well, John Belushi.
Yes, John Belushi.
John Belushi. It's come out today that apparently the night that he died, that day he was on the set of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, was he?
Allegedly, he was on the set because he wanted to perfect his Shatner impersonation.
Oh, because he did a great Shatner on Saturday Night Live.
So apparently he was there all day and all night to just pick up on his mannerisms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But people are saying, well, the Chateau Marmont is actually just a short stroll from Paramount's lot, where they would have been filming it.
You and I saw the Chateau Marmont when we were over there.
Yeah.
Because we were jokingly, because we're such big Belushi fans, we were like, we should really try and book a night there. And we looked at the price, and it was fucking expensive to book, especially if you want to book the room or the bungalow where John Belushi died. It's
and to buy the speedball, it was really...
that was the big expensive part, you know?
And apparently...
And Dan Aykroyd charges by the hour to come along and just kind of ID you.
Apparently, he also met up with Robert De Niro and Robin Williams on that same night.
Yeah, because Robin Williams was really into drugs. Apparently, he even told him to cut back that night. He's like, yeah, John, you're doing too much. And that's saying something come from Robin Williams.
How amazing would it have been to have seen another impersonation of William Shatner on Saturday Night Live?
I miss John Belushi. He was just at the beginning of... Like, he could have still been making great movies today.
It's really hard to believe that we're at the age where he was when he passed away.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, I think we're older than that.
Yeah.
aren't we? Yeah.
I just...
Bronte said, "Have you guys seen Extraction yet? Very, very impressed with the movie. I haven't.
It's on the list
It
to
looks
watch.
good. Bronte, can I ask, were you impressed because, it's Chris Hemsworth? Everyone loves a bit of Hemsworth, apparently.
Someone was saying...
Does he get his shirt off, Bronte? Does he?
There's a couple explanations.
Not that I'm asking, because I know someone.
Oh, don't be like that.
Someone here likes to see Chris Hemsworth. He's
Andrea said The Lion King was terrible.
well, the live action. That's why I didn't watch it, because I'm not going to let that get ruined for me. What did you guys think of The Rock's Hercules?
He had a beard.
I don't think I've seen it.
No.
No, I did. I saw that when I was in Dublin. It was
God.
we were hungover, and we thought we
God.
can't do too much today. We'll go along. It was a fancy ass theatre in Dublin, in the UK. Oh man, it was this. I shouldn't say in the UK. It's not in Dublin in Ireland.
It's a wonderful story.
Anyway, we were hungover as all fuck, and that movie just came out. We watched it, and I remember watching it, going, that wasn't half bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I have seen it. I didn't mind it, Scott. Andreas has said Extraction was good. Once again, Andreas, I'll ask you: is it because Chris Hemsworth does he take his shirt off, and will Ginge get really excited? And do I need to have a spray bottle of cold water to spray at him?
Bronte said Hemsworth didn't hurt the movie.
No.
That was a very very political way to answer that question.
Is it set up that I thought I heard someone say this week it could potentially be spun into multiple films?
Well, it's interesting because
I
I
out of it.
saw a couple of videos that have said
Franchises. What
this is the explanation of the ending of the movie. So is the ending ambiguous? Does it need explanation?
Is it androgynous?
All right, David Bowie.
David Bowie. Space control to
Major Tom.
As long as you don't start doing a bit of Freddie Mercury, because I hate it when you pop those false teeth in there and really let your teeth fall. Scares the fuck out of me when he rocks up in my window at night time. He's got the shirt ripped open, he's got his false teeth in like fucking Freddie Mercury.
But what I really fucking hate is when you think I'm playing Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees.
So I'll yell out,
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I yell out, I go, do Saturday Night Fever. I'm fucking Freddie Mercury.
I started a joke.
I'm going to have a heart attack on here.
Bronte said, spoiler alert, yes, it is left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, he's nowhere near androgynous. No, Andreas, I know he's not. He's
Just like the both of us.
Chris Hemsworth is all man. He's Aussie.
Yeah.
You know? He's a real man. Liam, on the other hand, he's a bit of a puss, isn't he? No, he's a good-looking dude, but he's a bit of a puss. God, he needs to step up. All that crap he let Miley Cyrus put him through. God, it sounds like I've been reading the old girly magazines.
The camera needs to whip around. Welcome to Entertainment Tonight.
Well, all that Liam, doesn't he need to get his finger out and slap that Miley in the face? Oh, she's a bitch. Right, any other questions for us before I get booted off air?
Just quickly.
He's the sensitive brother. Is that what it is, Scott? What about there's the other brother who was in Westworld? The fat Hemsworth.
But no, that's Barry Hemsworth who
Barry.
owns the car yard.
No, seriously though, what's his name? He's the older brother.
Yeah.
I just nicknamed him the fat Hemsworth because he's not as fit and buff as the other guys.
Scott just said, I came prepared this time. Question. With the DC EU currently all over the shop, yet somehow still intending on going forward despite ousting half the cast, where do you imagine they will start in regard to Green Lantern Corps?
Origin story with Jordan taking the helm or an already established Corps, utilising one of the later Lanterns such as Stewart, Gardner, Rayner or even Basil Cruz. Oh, Scott, you love to throw us humdingers, don't you? I love it. Right. I'm doing the... Right.
Is it Owen Hemsworth?
Owen Hemsworth? No, it's not Owen Hemsworth. Someone Google it and tell us.
The other Hemsworth.
Scott's question. Getting to Scott's question.
Scott, yes.
All right. Apparently, Tom Cruise was in talks, serious talks, to play Hal Jordan in a Green Lantern live-action film where he would train up the new recruit, which was to be played by... he's an African-American actor who was in one of the Fast and Furious movies. And is it Ludacris?
What?
Is it Ludacris?
Yeah, it is Ludacris, but are you serious?
It's one of them. It's a guy. He's in. No, it might not be Ludacris, but it's an African American guy who's in one of the Fast and Furious movies. He's super keen. He's like a massive Green Lantern fan. He was to play John Stewart. Tom Cruise was all G'd up until he read the script where he would die by halfway through the movie, right? So Hal would die, and then John Stewart would become the One Lantern. And Tom Cruise went, nope, I am not signing on to a film where I get bumped off halfway through. So it came to a screeching halt. And yeah, Luke Hemsworth, by the way. Thank you, Bronte. Thank you. I can't believe it. Danny said Owen Hemsworth. Owen Hemsworth. Good Lord, Danny. You know better than that.
Maybe
It's,
Owen
Luke
Hemsworth owns the
Tyrese Gibson, thank you.
Was it Tyrese
I had it
Gibson?
completely stuffed up. Thank you, Danny. She redeemed herself just then. Thank you, Danny. Tyrese.
The script idea sounds awfully like Executive Decision, where Steven Seagal dies halfway through the movie and Kurt Russell takes over.
Yeah, well, it's been compared to a few different movies, and apparently, like, DC were all G'd up. Warner Brothers, I should say. Warner Brothers were all G'd up. Friggin', like I say, Tom Cruise was there. He was on board until he saw that they actually handed him the full script, and he read through it and went,
okay.
You got me dying halfway through. I'm not fucking coming onto a film to... right? And yeah, Tyrese Gibson's the guy. He is a massive Green Lantern fan and is desperate to play John Stewart. So to answer your question, Scott, long way around, if they're going to do it, it'll be John Stewart. It'll be probably Tyrese Gibson or someone like him doing that role. And that'll be entry to the cinematic. They may still have someone come on board and play like an older Hal Jordan handing the role over, or he might, like, how I would do it. I wouldn't have him die. I wouldn't have Hal die. I would have Hal there, train him up for the first half of the movie, right? So John Stewart would be the rookie.
Yep.
You know, puts him through his paces, everything else. There's another emergency where Hal has to go off with the Corps to space, and you know, your John Stewart character, he's like, you've got to look after this shit on Earth. I've got to go. You're not trained up enough.
Yep.
And that is the proving ground for John Stewart. He steps up. There's a big thing that's gonna, you know, fuck up Earth. He saves the day, and then he's like, yep, cool. And then the next movie you can have...
And then the sequel, Tom Cruise comes back in the third act...
And dies!
No. And comes and helps.
Right, real quick, cancel that email to Tom Cruise.
Him and Tyrese come together at the third act.
Team up and bam! So, no.
Russo brothers, write this shit down. We're done.
Anyway, so that's what you'd probably see. That's what I would do. I would have then the second film, he can be on his own. You could have a cameo by Hal and the Corps and all that kind of thing. But yeah, that's what you're going to have. It'll be, when it eventually happens, if it ever fucking happens, that's what it'll be. But you're going to get a Green Lantern HBO series, apparently. I think we discussed that the other week. That's what you're probably going to see first. HBO will do a Green Lantern series.
Scott said, you would lose a lot of storylines if you killed Jordan. Parallax, Sinestro.
I think that's probably part of the reason Tom Cruise just went, I'm not going to be part of this, because you've got such a cool legacy character. Like, you know, he's the Green Lantern most people know, and you want to kill him halfway through the movie? Yeah, nah, that's kind of silly. So that's probably why that won't happen. Any comments on Billy Piper and Christopher Eccleston returning to the Doctor Who universe in the new spin-off Time Lord Victorious? Bronte, I know nothing about this. I'm going to have to do some research. You've got me intrigued. I love Christopher Eccleston. He was one of my favourite Doctors. My wife got me into Doctor Who. I was not a Whovian before then. We started from Eccleston onward. Actually, I lied. We started with Paul McGann, the BBC America movie, which was great.
Yes.
And then we got into Eccleston. I've always loved Eccleston as an actor. I think he's peculiar but cool.
I was going to say Fast and Furious. No, that wasn't. What was it?
Gone in 60
Gone in
Seconds.
60 Seconds.
One of my all-time favourite films with Nick Cage. I love Nick Cage. I have a man crush on Nick Cage. Not because he's a good-looking dude, because he's not. Look at his fucking hair nowadays, right? His hair's receding worse than mine. But he is one of the best actors
of this generation. Of any generation.
We watched National Treasure the other week.
It's such a great series.
I fucking love that. We watched Sorcerer's Apprentice with him in it. He is a great... I want more Nick Cage stuff. He's not old enough that he can retire yet. Like, fucking bring him back.
And he lost all his money in the global financial crisis and his divorces, so he needs to be doing more movies.
Bronte said she has a man crush on Nick Cage too. See, Bronte, you've got great taste. See?
I'm glad that both of you have the same taste in men.
Cage fans together. Well, I co-host with you enough. She had to put up with you enough too at work.
Danny said, when are we getting a Martian Manhunter film? Interesting you should say that. Did you hear that within the Zack Snyder universe, he was planning on the character who is the African-American general who meets him in the desert. Was planning to be.
Do you remember with the whole Justice League when that came out? There was all those rumours that Martian Manhunter appeared in the trailer of that. And it never actually come off when we saw it on this. We're all looking for that as an Easter egg that Martian Manhunter was going to rock
because
up.
Joss Whedon just went, no, get rid of all that. I don't like that. Let's make things funny.
Fuck Joss Whedon. Scott said, I'm a sucker for Cage. Screw the haters. And Dre said,
Yes.
Cage is awesome. I'm loving the Nick Cage love. I might have to watch another Nick Cage.
We should
talk
do
about-
the truffle shuffle for Nick Cage.
I am not lifting my shirt up on this, right? We want people to come back and watch it next week. We don't want people to be turned off. I will pick a Nick Cage film, or my lovely wife will. We'll watch it over the weekend. We'll talk about that next week.
I need to watch Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Have you never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I did
do
see
yourself
this-
a favour.
I did see this week that there's a big car chase in the middle of it.
There is, yeah, and they keep changing the vehicles magically. So, it's great. You're going to like it.
Bronte said my all-time favourite movie is National Treasure.
Yeah, great. There's only the two, isn't there? They were going to do a third. There's still talk. Actually, no. I read the other night. There's still talk of a third. Nick Cage is keen.
The script writer's doing it, and he's doing a 3 and a 4. A script for both 3 and 4.
And you know what? If they were smart, to save money, they'll film them back to back. And then release them separately.
Write this shit down.
What are we doing here? Chris said that Cage would be an awesome Martian Manhunter. You reckon?
I
love him, but I don't know whether he can pull off Martian Manhunter, mate.
I still want to see an animated movie version of...
Oh, Scott has actually said, put him in a hero role again, make him Dr. Fate or Zatanna's father.
Yeah?
I could see him as Zatanna's father. That would be phenomenal. I think that'd be great. And you know who I'd love to see him come back as? Actually, I know what my Nick Cage film's going to be. It's going to be the first Ghost Rider. I'm going to watch that this coming week. That's what I'm going to watch.
That was a great movie.
And the second one still had good moments, but it was fucking trippy.
Especially if you had to watch it in 3D.
Bring him back and let him do another Ghost Rider film.
I really want to see the animated Tim Burton Superman with him in it.
Bronte said, is there really? Don't break my heart. I need more National Treasure. Yes, I believe
they're
they
working
are
on 3 and 4. They're working on the scripts.
Laura said the same thing. Another National Treasure would be cool.
Yes.
Totally agree with you. That would be a fantastic... It's a franchise you've already got built. Add to it. You can really expand it. And I can't think of the young guy in it. That is his
Yeah, I know who
sidekick.
you're talking about.
Yeah. He's done fuck all since then. So you throw him, go, mate, we'll give you a check for 30 grand. He'll be there. He'll film it. Right? And if he can't...
30 might be a
If
lot.
anyone is ever watching this that is an executive producer or is a friend of Nick Cage or is Nick Cage, I'll do it for 20. Right? I'll come and act on it.
Act as what? Is Fluffer?
Yeah.
Scott
Okay.
just said Brendan Fraser and Nick Cage, two actors I absolutely love and never understood the
Same. I'm
hate on.
I'm a Brendan Fraser fan, but have you
Absolutely.
seen him nowadays? The guy is certainly no leading man.
Well,
He had a lot of medical issues, like bad injuries on different sets. He then started training because he kept, his agent, I think it was, kept saying, you're not going to land the leading role mans unless you fucking pump up. So he did. He went too quick, too fast there,
and injured
caused
himself.
more injuries. And then because he couldn't do his stuff, he blew out. Like he packed on the weight. Too many cookies at home on the couch, I think. Fucking pity food.
don't be like that.
What? I'm serious. Like I'm not being nasty. I'm just saying it as it is. He's not a leading man physique anymore. So
Danny said, is there an animated version? No, but there should be. We would love to see an animated movie of Superman Lives.
let Tim Burton direct it.
Yep.
Let Tim Burton direct it. Nick Cage voice it. I'd be there, all over it like a fat kid on cupcakes.
The one thing we were going to talk about last week, and we need to talk about this week...
The Saint. Oh, thank God you reminded me about it. Right. Ginge, one of his favourite films is Val Kilmer as the Saint. What year was that? Do you remember?
I think it was 1995 or 6.
We were in high school. I do remember that. Fantastic film. Val Kilmer, great actor,
Yes.
right? And he got to play so many different characters.
And
in it,
I
didn't
think the thing is that Val Kilmer was a character actor inside the body of a leading man.
he? Yes.
I think that's the problem with his entire career. I mean, look at Doc Hollywood.
Yes. Love it. One of my...
Doc Holiday.
Holiday. Holiday, yeah, in Tombstone.
In Tombstone.
Right?
He
Love
was
him in
he
that.
was a character actor.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
I don't think he should have been a leading man per se.
He was fantastic in the role. So then a few years ago, they were talking about doing a remake. Nothing
Yes.
come of it.
Yes.
Then the last we heard was Chris Pratt had signed on. There was a script done. Talk was production was going to kick off, I think, late last year. Then it got pushed to early this year.
And hey, Chris Pratt probably would have been okay in it.
Would have been okay.
Okay.
Okay. But then now Chris Pratt has dropped out. And guess who they replaced him with? Another Chris. Chris Pine has signed up. And I tell you what, as soon as we talked about it the other day, both of us went,
Yep.
perfect. I've watched a few movies with Chris Pine in it recently, and I love the guy acting. I think he's fantastic. So I am G'd up. Apparently, it is moving forward. It's going to start pre-production later this year, so we may see it sometime next year. A version of The Saint.
Just imagine the different characters that
Who
he can
played
play.
him on TV?
James Bond.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
Was it Roger Moore as
Roger
the
Moore.
original Saint? I've
Yes.
never watched any of that.
I think it was black and white, was it? I think it was.
I know someone might be able to tell us. Chris said, love The Saint. Kilmer was also really strong in a supporting role in Heat with
Heat.
De Niro
Yes.
and Pacino. Whoa, you got that's my worst Pacino I've ever fucking done.
And Chris has said, you could be my Huckleberry.
And now I can do my my De Niro. Imagine there's a mole on my face. Are you talking to me? Are you comparing me to Pacino? That's it. That's all I've got. De Niro.
Scott, last question.
It's a bit outplayed, having people reprise roles years after their prime, and probably best left in the past. But I heard talks of bringing Michael Keaton back. Oh, I know where you're going with this. Michael Keaton back in some form as an aged Batman. What do you guys think of that? Fuck yes! Oh, literally the table just lifted and the laptop is
We're
shaking.
sitting here like
right?
two open pocket knives.
We've always said, do Dark Knight Returns. Michael Keaton is at that prime part of his career where he could step back into the role.
Yep.
He could play a grizzled, aged, cranky old Bruce Wayne / Batman. You cast the right... I reckon Willem Dafoe as an old Joker, the Joker from Dark Knight Returns.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Hollywood, someone get Hollywood on the blower. This shit is writing itself. Right, we've cast this, and I would get Tim Burton back to direct because he would give it that Gotham ambiance that we miss.
And the real fantasy element that I think those movies are missing.
Imagine the fight down in the mud with the mutants, right? Could you imagine Tim Burton's version of the mutants from that?
Yeah.
Right, the friggin' the street crew kind of thing. Oh, God. Scott, you have left us on such a high note tonight. Asking that, 2 thumbs up, we'd all be for it. It'd be fantastic. His performance in Birdman absolutely showed he can still do. The Founder. Did you watch The Founder?
The Founder is an amazing movie.
The Vulture, when he played the Vulture in Spider-Man, you know?
Yes.
Fuck, he can play
Yes.
bad guys really, really good. I
Yes.
love him. Michael Keaton, one of my all-time favourite actors.
So excited right now. I think I need to go have a cold shower.
I think that's where we'll probably wrap it up. We've done my shitty fucking...
Hooah.
my bad Al Pacino, my really bad De Niro.
Ground control to
Major
Major Tom.
Tom. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you tune in next week. And by the way, Scott, who just asked that question, I've got to do a home... You'll come with me again. We're doing another home delivery tonight, Scott. You'll see our grinning
Everyone
mugs.
round to Scott's place.
Yeah, come around to Scott's place.
It's the after party.
We'll all get out there. We'll all sing Ground Control to Major Tom out the front. So, Scott, you'll see these laughing mugs soon. Everyone else, tune in next week to see the co-host with the most
Wake Hobson.
on the Pots and Pans. I've been your host, Todd Bailey. Stay geeky. See you next week.
Bye.